Hi friends, today's video is going to be again very interesting, informative. It's about your partner, relationship, your marriage, love life, even wealth, because today we are talking about the dispositor of Venus in all 12 houses of your horoscope. So what will happen when the dispositor of Venus is in a certain house? Now, Venus, say in your horoscope, is in the sign of Gemini. Then Gemini is ruled by Mercury. So the dispositor of Venus will be Mercury. That means you have to find out in which sign Venus is placed in your horoscope, birth chart, Lagna chart, Rashi chart or D1 chart, whatever you may call. So call it. So if Venus is in Gemini, then the sign lord is known as the dispositor. Okay, the sign lord will be Mercury. So Mercury will be Venus's dispositor. So you have to find out where Mercury is placed in your horoscope, in which house. Okay, so Venus is dispositor in all 12 houses. If the dispositor of Venus is well placed in your horoscope, then definitely you will get good results pertaining to your marriage or partnership or relationship or even partner, because Venus is the natural 7th lord, because in the 7th house we have the sign of Libra in the chart of the cosmic man. Now if the dispositor is well placed in a certain house of your horoscope, you will get good results. What do you mean by well placed? If the dispositor is retrograde, then definitely the dispositor will give you results of the house in which it is placed, and it will also give you the results of the previous house, because then a retrograde planet has a very strong 12th aspect on its previous house as per Bhrigu Nandinari Jyotish, because it is retrograde. So you also have to, it will also give you the results of the placement of the dispositor, not just in that particular house, say the 5th house, but also it will give you a lot of, it will have a lot of influence on the 4th house also. Venus's dispositor, if it is retrograde. If Venus's dispositor is combust, then the results will go to Sun. You have to find out how Sun is placed in your horoscope. If Sun is well placed, you will get good results. Again, Venus's dispositor, this planet in all 12 houses. So this planet, you have to find out where it is placed in your Lagna chart or Rashi chart, which is also called the D1 chart. Now, it is also better if you look at the placement of that planet in the KP chart. The KP chart, that is the Krishnamurti Paddhati chart. So that chart also gives you, the accurate placement of the planet in a certain house. Say if Venus's dispositor, say it is Mercury, and if Mercury is placed in the 5th house, say of your D1 chart, and if you go to your KP chart, it is placed in the 4th house, then you should consider both the houses, 5th house and also 4th house. So you can get combined results or results of both the houses. So what do you mean by the dispositor of Venus is well placed in a certain house? Well placed means the dispositor should not be much afflicted. So if it is, what do you mean by afflicted? Say if the dispositor is being aspected or is in conjunction with Rahu or Ketu, then the energy of Rahu or Ketu needs to be absorbed positively in the relationship. If your partner is from a foreign land, then you will get good results. Okay? If your partner Rahu or Ketu, both are connected to foreign lands. If your partner is into research, investigation, or any kind of work which is, mysterious, secretive, confidential, like occult services, healing practices, spiritual practices, etc., any sort of investigation, then it will be good results. Then, it'll be okay. Otherwise, we can say if the energy of Rahu or Ketu is not absorbed, then you may consider it to be that the dispositor of Venus is afflicted. So if the energy is absorbed positively, it's fine. Otherwise, Rahu can especially Rahu can show addiction. Rahu can show someone who is dishonest, who can be deceptive, okay, disloyal. And if Venus's dispositor is with Ketu, it can show some sort of separation also. But if Ketu is well placed, it can also show a spiritual connection. So like that, you have to find out how the dispositor is placed. Now, dispositor is well placed or not, how will you know? First of all, I told you, you have to find out whether it is afflicted or not. Okay, if it is with Rahu or Ketu, then the energy should be absorbed. If it is with any other planets which are also somehow considered to cast negative influence, like especially especially with planets which are inimical to the dispositor planet. Okay, so the dispositor planet could be any planet. Say for example, it is Mercury. Venus's dispositor, say it is Mercury. Then planets which are inimical to Mercury, if Mercury is being aspected by them, then there can be problems. Okay, like for example, Mars and Mercury. Okay, so yeah, I mean, again, you have to find out how Mars is placed. So it's like that. So find out the dispositor is in conjunction with which planets. Say if the dispositor is in conjunction with friendly planets, then it will be very good. Venus in conjunction with Mercury is considered to be Mercury and Venus conjunction is good, like that. Friendly planets, you will get good results. Okay, and also that dispositor planet will be in a certain zodiac sign. That sign lord also. So that sign lord, how it is placed in the chart. That means Venus's dispositor is in a certain house. That particular planet, how that planet's dispositor is also placed, that also you have to see. The dispositor of the dispositor. So Venus's dispositor in all 12 houses. So that planet, you have to check everything. It is being aspected by what planets, its dispositor, again how it is placed. All that will enable you to decide whether it is well placed or not. So now let's quickly go to the sample chart. Friends, you can see this is the chart of a native who is a Leo ascendant, because the sign of Leo is in the first house. This is a North Indian style chart. This is the first house. This is the 7th house of relationship, partnership. So today we want to know if Venus's dispositor is in a certain house of your horoscope. This is the Lagna chart. Okay, so what results you will get. So here you see, in the case of this particular native, Venus is in the very first house. Okay, and you have to see Venus is in which zodiac sign. Venus is in the sign of Leo. Okay, Leo is ruled by Sun. Okay, planet Sun in astrology, and Sun is placed in the very first house. Obviously, here you can see that Sun is placed in Leo only in this horoscope. So Venus is in Leo. Okay, and Sun is also placed in Leo in this horoscope. That means Venus's dispositor is Sun. Sun is in the very first house of the horoscope. So similarly, you have to find out Venus's dispositor is in which house of your horoscope. These are all the 12 houses. So Venus's dispositor is in which house? That's what you have to find out. Okay, and that's what we will discuss in today's video. Venus's dispositor planet in all 12 houses of your horoscope. Friends, do not forget to subscribe to the channel, and if you want personal consultation, details are there in the video description. You can WhatsApp me. So let's get started. Okay friends, so what will happen when dispositor of Venus in your horoscope is placed in the first house itself? Alright, then what will happen? So you have to look at the sign in which Venus is placed. Okay, the lord of that sign is the dispositor of Venus. So that planet, if it is placed in the very first house itself, that means your relationship, your marriage is going to be a very important event of your life, and your life is going to revolve around this relationship or even your partner. Okay, so this relationship or marriage can transform your identity. redefine your identity. Now, if the dispositor planet, we know that Venus's dispositor is in the first house, so of your horoscope. So you can look at it from your Lagna chart. You can also look at it from the moon chart. So if the dispositor planet, if it is in good dignity, more or less well placed, then you will get wonderful results. So your partner will be somebody, or let's look at your partner also, because Venus is the natural 7th lord. Will be someone who has a very high sense of self-esteem. Now, if you're a female native, these qualities even you can have. If you're a male native, then your partner will have these qualities. They will be self-dependent. They will be courageous if it is well placed. They will believe in their own efforts. They will believe in taking initiative. They will have creativity. They'll be knowledgeable and they'll be seekers of knowledge. They can also be structured, disciplined. They will have a vision in life. They'll have a goal in life. They can also be competitive. They can be ambitious. So all these qualities. So, dispositor of Venus is in the first house of your horoscope. What else we can say about your partner? Your partner will be somebody who will really want to establish their identity. Whenever they are able to do something by dint of their own knowledge and creativity, that will make them truly happy. What about your relationship? This relationship can be based, if the dispositor of Venus is well placed in the first house, then the relationship can be based on a sense of duty, because first house is part of the Dharma trine. So, sense of duty will be there in the relationship. There will be mutual trust, mutual respect will be there in the relationship. Okay? A sense of responsibility, commitment will be there. There can be spiritual connection also. Again, there can be a very deeply, there can be a deep-rooted, passionate connection. You can really be deeply attached to each other also. Even passionately connected. Great physical connection also, it can suggest. Okay? And that passionate connection is something which is very important in the relationship. Because in the first house you have a lot of Aries energy, which is, we have to remember the chart of the cosmic man. So, very passionate connection. And it's very important to take initiative in the relationship. Either you or your partner should take initiative to do new things, to make new moves, to make each other happy, and to also see to it that both of you have new experiences in the relationship, so that the relationship remains interesting. Okay, so that is very important. So very spontaneously you should connect. You may connect with each other. Even impulsively sometimes you may connect with each other. So yeah, there can be great intuitive connection also. So all these things. And what about your wealth? Your wealth, because Venus's dispositor is in the first house, you can earn wealth by dint of your own knowledge, creativity, or creative skills. You can earn wealth by dint of by making use of your intuition. Okay? And yeah, by making use of the energy, because first house is the house of energy, even the physical energy that you have. So you could be into sports, you could be a gym instructor, you could be into any field of research investigation also. Any of these fields can enable you to earn wealth. But your efforts, hard work, being structured, disciplined is very important. If Venus is not so well placed, Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the first house, then definitely we can say that there can be problems in the relationship. Okay, ego clashes can be there in the relationship, lack of commitment may be there. You may take impulsive decisions in relationship. Okay, there may be a lack of stability in the relationship, and so on. Now what will happen if Venus's dispositor is in the second house of your horoscope? If it is in the second house of your horoscope, then definitely this relationship will enable you, can enable you, if the dispositor planet is well placed and Venus's dispositor is in the second house, then after entering into this committed relationship or marriage, you can gain wealth. Okay, you can become prosperous. It's possible. You can have joint resources with your partner after marriage or after you're in a serious relationship. Then all these things are possible. This relationship will be based on serious commitment. Okay, it will be based on practical considerations. Okay, so whenever it comes to decision making in relationship, you will definitely analyze things properly and look at things very practically and logically. It's possible. Your person can be somebody. Now these qualities can be, the following qualities can be there in you if you're a female native, or these qualities may be there in your partner if you're a male native. Venus's dispositor is in the second house of your horoscope, so they can be very calculating, methodical, they can be structured, disciplined, practical, grounded, hardworking, goal oriented. Okay, so they can do very well in any field of work which is connected to finance sector, and any of these fields can be suitable for you also, because you have Venus, the planet of wealth, Venus's dispositor is in the second house. So even the native, and if you're a male native, your partner may be associated with the finance sector or to any field of work which involves calculations, which involves analytical skills. Okay, so yeah, you may gain wealth from family business also. It's possible. Now Venus's dispositor is in the second house, so what we can say, if you're a female native, these qualities you will have, and if you're a male native, your partner will have these qualities. They can be very sensual, okay, very sensitive, intuitive, creative also, and they can be very, very sensual by nature. So this relationship can be based on sensual pleasures. It's possible. It can be based on nourishment also. Yes, providing nourishment to each other. Okay, if the planet Venus's dispositor is well placed in the second house, then after entering into this committed relationship or marriage, you may attract luxury also into your life. Okay, so definitely all these things are possible. Now if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the second house, then what will happen? Then definitely in this relationship, there may be lack of commitment. If Venus's dispositor is well placed in the second house, this relationship will be based on serious commitment. If dispositor is not well placed, there won't be proper commitment, and then there can be problems in the relationship. Okay, so also one of the partners may not be serious. It's possible, and which can lead to problems. Also, after entering into this relationship, you may encounter problems in gaining wealth. So all these things can happen. Now, how can you gain wealth? Venus's dispositor is in the second house. So you may gain wealth with the help of your speaking ability, Vak Shakti, that is with the help of the power of your speech, or the education that you have received, the knowledge that you possess. You can gain wealth by dint of that. You can also gain wealth by dint of your analytical skills, analytical abilities. Okay? So, yeah, you can also gain wealth by making use of your power of intuition. So, you could also gain wealth from occult fields and so on. So, yeah, or from the finance sector. Now, whatever be your field of work, whenever you are committed to your work, whenever you are structured, disciplined, because second house is part of the earth trine, whenever you're devoted to your goals and you're meticulous about the planning that you have done, and you're hardworking and you believe in, being goal oriented, you'll be able to attract wealth. You have to be structured and hardworking. That's the key to attaining wealth in life. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor, if that planet will be placed in the third house of your horoscope. So dispositor of Venus in the third house of friendship, that means your relationship can be based on friendship, on shared interests, hobbies. Your relationship with your partner will improve if you undertake travel together, if you do fun things together, if you play games with each other, if you are frank with each other, if you share jokes with each other, if you believe in, communicating your thoughts, feelings, emotions with each other, if you believe, in healthy communication, sharing your ideas, thoughts with each other, even intellectual discussions with each other, and even taking recourse to role playing during your intimate moments. So all that will improve your relationship. Whenever you interact with each other, it should be a very friendly and lively interaction. If Venus's dispositor will be well placed in the third house, then you will get such results. Okay? So your relationship will be based on healthy conversation, cracking jokes, and a lot of laughter, sense of humor, and friendly conversation. So all that will be part of your relationship. Now, all these things and traveling to different places. Third house is part of the Kama Trikona, the trine of desires, expectations, wishes. So lots of expectations may be attached to the relationship or to your partner. So you have lots of expectations, you have lots of dreams, unfulfilled desires, you want to go to different places and you want to do so many things with your partner after you're into a committed relationship. So you want to travel the world with your partner and all that. So it's actually a good placement if there is friendly relationship, if you help each other in your work, if you help each other to attain a couple goals, to attain your common goals or even individual goals. So this relationship should be based on friendship, cooperation. Then it will be very successful. Otherwise, there can be problems. So again, if Venus's dispositor is well placed, you will get all positive results. Okay? Negative results I'll tell you later on. Now, the following qualities may be there in you if you're a female native and if you have Venus's dispositor in the third house. And the following qualities may be there in your partner if you're a male native. Your partner can be very talkative, very intelligent. They can have great sense of humor, very friendly with you. They may love to take initiative in doing things, very inquisitive about things, highly skillful also in doing things. They may want to explore various areas of interest, so they may have a variety of interests. And they may be skillful. They may have more than one skill set. And, very skillful. Creative skills, artistic skills. They can be intelligent. They can also be ambitious in life, very hardworking. They will believe in their own efforts. They'll believe in their own hard work also. So, all that is possible. And they will want to take initiative. They will want to, they will have a deep-rooted desire to fulfill their, ambition in life. So, all these qualities your partner can have. They'll be a real friend, to you, with whom you love to talk, share everything. So all these qualities. Now again, if the dispositor of Venus is not so well placed in the third house, then there can be communication gap in the relationship. You may have different interests. The things which interest you may not interest your partner. They can even be clash of interests. And so it won't be possible for you to, give company to each other. You may not enjoy each other's company. And then there can be problems in the relationship. Okay? Also, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed, then, you may be very, when it comes to relationship, you may be very calculating, and you may also be you may have a cerebral approach to things. Lack of proper emotions in the relationship. All that is possible. Now, what about your wealth? You can earn wealth by dint of your efforts, initiative, creative skills, by dint of your intelligence, marketing skills, from social media, from your social circle, networks. You can earn wealth. You can be an agent. You can be a commission agent. You can be into marketing, agency business. You could also be into any sort of business. You can have great business acumen. You can be very intelligent. You can have great analytical skills. Okay, you could also do well in technology. So wealth may come from any of these fields, because third house, you have the Gemini energy. So Mercury, intelligence. By dint of your intelligence and skills, you can earn wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the fourth house of your horoscope. Now, it means that if the dispositor planet is well placed, then after you're into committed relationship or marriage, you can earn property, assets. So growth in assets, property, even wealth may increase. So growth in real estate property, investing in a property jointly, and having, being joint owner of property with your partner, all that. Traveling is a very good thing. Traveling with your partner will improve your relationship. Okay? At times there can be fluctuations in the relationship. So it's possible. So this relationship needs to be based on compassion, love, affection, the desire to provide each other with nourishment. That's very important. Taking care of each other and sacrificing your own happiness for the sake of the other is important. Deep-rooted intuitive connection, a spiritual bond should be there between the two of you. Now, if Venus's dispositor is well placed in the fourth house of your horoscope, you will get such results. Your bond will be very strong. Both of you will have deep-rooted emotional connection with each other. Intuitively, you will respond to each other's feelings, even needs. Okay? But if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the fourth house, Then there can be fluctuations in the relationship, ups and downs in the relationship. Sometimes you will emotionally connect with your partner, or they will connect with you well. Sometimes there won't be proper emotional connection between the two of you, and you may feel distanced from each other. It can happen. Mood swings can be there, which can even spoil the relationship dynamics. Lots of mood swings, so that is not good actually. So that can spoil the beauty of the relationship also. It's possible. So all these things, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the 4th house of your horoscope, if it is not well placed, you may encounter problems in buying property after marriage or after you're into a committed relationship. Whenever you go to buy property, you may encounter obstacles. It's possible. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth from real estate. You can gain wealth from, by dint of your own healing abilities. I mean, if you make use of your intuition or creative skills, you'll be able to gain wealth. Now, 4th house is part of the moksha trine. It is a trine of compassion, intuition. So by dint of your intuition or creativity, even knowledge, you can gain wealth. You could also be into any field of research, investigation. From there also you can gain wealth. Healing practices, occult, nursing jobs, healthcare sector, human resource sector. Wealth may come from any of these fields. It's possible. Okay. Any kind of research, investigation also. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor will be in the 5th house of your horoscope. If the dispositor is well placed, what will happen? First we'll say that, about that. So then your relationship will be based on true love, great romantic connection, spiritual connection. Okay, both of you will try to make each other happy, or being with your partner will be the cause of your happiness. They will bring so much of happiness, joy, good luck and good fortune into your life. All these things will happen. Now both of you will be again committed to each other. 5th house is part of the dharma trine. So there will be a sense of duty, commitment, okay, a great romantic connection. So both of you can be friends with each other. You can share hobbies, interests, and that will improve your relationship. Okay, you can be forgiving and generous also towards each other. So all that will improve the relationship. Now, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the 5th house, then there can be ego clashes in the relationship. Okay, lack of commitment, lack of accountability towards each other, no sense of duty towards each other. So not being faithful to each other, that's also possible. So all that can happen if Venus's dispositor is not well placed in the 5th house of your horoscope. If it is well placed, then definitely you will, day by day, you will become more and more prosperous because of this relationship, or because of the arrival of the partner into your life. Now the following qualities may be there in you if you're a female native. If Venus's dispositor is in the 5th house, and the following qualities may be there in your partner if you're a male native. So your partner can be somebody who is knowledgeable or a knowledge seeker. Now again, if the Venus's dispositor is well placed in the 5th house, your partner can be knowledgeable. They can be creative, intuitive. They can have intuitive powers. So they can do well in speculation business. They can be connected to any field of work which requires the use of intuition, creativity, or knowledge. They can be someone who's knowledgeable, educated, and all these good qualities. They can be very much committed to you, dutiful towards you, all these qualities. They will be forgiving by nature, generous, large-hearted. Okay, so yeah, they will also love to, make friends. Yes, with like-minded people, of course. And so all these things. They can also be very playful and fun-loving. If Venus's dispositor is well placed in the 5th house, and then these qualities may be there in your partner if you're a male native, and in you if you're a female native. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth from, with the help of your knowledge or the education that you have received, or you can gain wealth from with the help of any sort of creative skill that you may have, or by making use of your intuition. Okay, you can gain wealth. So whenever you are able to gain knowledge or enhance your creativity, or whenever you have that freedom, you have that freedom, that independence to work and to showcase your creativity and knowledge, then it will be possible for you to gain wealth. Okay, so yes, so wealth will come to you by dint of your knowledge, creative skills, or with the help of your power of intuition. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the 6th house of your horoscope. If the dispositor planet is not so well placed, if it is well placed in the 6th house, then what will happen? Then definitely in this relationship is going to be based on serious commitment. 6th house is part of the Earth trine. So you will make efforts in the relationship. Your partner also can make efforts. And this relationship will be based on mutual efforts to connect with each other. And there will be serious commitment in the relationship. Okay? Now your partner may belong to your workplace. That's also possible. Or may somehow be connected to your work. Or maybe someone who helps you in your day-to-day work. Now, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed, then what will happen if it is in the 6th house of obstacles, litigations? Okay, what will happen? Even enemies. Then there can be conflicts with the partner. You may, have fights. You may quarrel with each other, or there could be, serious clash of interests, opinions, and there could also be some conflict in the relationship, which could make the relationship bitter, and you may even get distanced from each other because of the bitterness that has that now characterizes your relationship. Why? Because of excessive conflicts. That's possible. So it's very important to analyze the root cause of the conflicts and problems. You have to analyze what is going wrong. Both you and your partner will have to be very analytical in this respect. You have to find out what is going wrong, why it is not working, and how to avoid conflicts. Very important to remember that you should not take each other for granted. You should do routine things for each other. Even maintaining a routine sex life, going out on dinner date, or taking each other out on a dinner date every weekend, maybe going together every weekend, or whenever you have time, celebrating special occasions or festivals together. So doing routine things will improve the relationship. Making efforts to connect with each other, that's again very important. Having a desire to serve each other. 6th house is the house of service also. Having a desire to serve each other selflessly, that will also improve the relationship. Now how can you, what qualities will be there in you if you are a female native, and what qualities will be there in your partner if you are a male native, and if you have Venus's dispositor in the 6th house. Your person can be very, very analytical, intelligent if the dispositor is well placed. They'll have great intellectual depth. They will have analytical abilities. They can be good at technology. They can be good at healing, occult practices. They could be into any service sector, healthcare sector, legal sector. They could do well in the field of law or in the legal sector, as I said. They could be into social service. They could, be a great lover of animals, and they could stand up, against injustice done to animals, and they could also be into any kind of social service. So all these things are possible. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth by dint of your analytical powers, by dint of your, intellectual capabilities, analytical powers, even research, investigation. In any field of work you could be, whether it's a field of law, whether it is a healthcare sector, whether it is, nursing job, whether it is the medical profession, whether it is any field of work which is connected to serving others, or any service sector, any sort of service sector or job sector. So wealth may come from any of these sectors. So you'll be able to gain wealth when you're disciplined, structured, when you have a routine based approach to work, when you believe in making efforts every day, regularly, on a regular basis, when you believe in being structured, disciplined, hardworking, goal oriented, detail oriented, towards your work, when you plan things meticulously, when you're disciplined in your approach, then you will be able to gain wealth in life. You have to be hardworking, you have to make efforts. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the 7th house of your horoscope. 7th house is the house of partnership. Now, dispositor of Venus, if it is well placed, the planet, then what will happen? Then this relationship will be based on great partnership, even great physical attraction or sexual relationship also. You may also attract a person who belongs to foreign culture or different culture. Venus's dispositor in the 7th house, you will also feel like sharing almost everything with your partner, because you believe that your partner is your best companion. So it's a wonderful placement if the dispositor planet is well placed in the 7th house. Your relationship will be based on balance and harmony. Both of you should engage in intellectual discussions. There should be shared interests and hobbies. 7th house is again part of the karma trine, the trine of desires. This relationship should also be based on healthy give and take, on friendship, friendly discussions, intellectual discussions, traveling together, sharing hobbies, interests. All these things will improve the relationship. When you interact with your partner in a very healthy way, when there is, when there is transparency in the relationship, great friendship, then this relationship will be successful. If the dispositor is well placed, you will get such results. If the dispositor is not so well placed in the 7th house, Venus's dispositor, then lack of harmony in the relationship. There can be ego clashes, problems, conflicts with the partner. It's possible. there can be problems you may not, there may not be a healthy sexual connection also. It's possible if Venus's dispositor is not well placed in the 7th house of your horoscope. Now the following qualities will be there in you if you're a female native, and in your partner if you're a male native. And so if Venus's dispositor is in the 7th house, so what will happen? Your partner, like if you're a male native, they will be they can be physically attractive, intelligent, because 7th house, the sign of Libra in the chart of the cosmic man, the sign of balance, in also intelligence, because Libra is air sign. So they will know how to balance things, they will know how to deal with people, they will believe in social interactions. So they will have there'll be people who are social, very social, again if Venus's dispositor is well placed. So they will have healthy interactions with people. They will also go out of their way to help other people in society. They can do very well in any kind of business, trading, because in business you need to know how to deal with people, you need to know how to work for people, so they can do well in business, independent or partnership business. They can also, like both of you can also be engaged in a business together. That's possible. So you can be not just life partners, even business partners. So all these things we can say if the dispositor of the 7th house, dispositor of Venus is more or less well placed in the 7th house. Your partner may belong to some foreign culture, different culture. You may travel to a foreign land with your partner after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship, and so on. So and all these things, and so this relationship is going to work if there is, if both of you discuss things with each other, if you discuss your ideas with each other, if you also are very transparent and friendly with each other, if you also maintain healthy physical connection with each other, then this relationship really will work. Now, partners in everything almost. So that's important. Helping each other, cooperating with each other is very important. So now, now these qualities can be there in your partner. If you're a male native, and if you're a female native, you can be someone who are very good at dealing with others, with people. You want other people also to get along well with one another. But again, see to it that you maintain your sense of self-confidence. Now, if you're a male native, your partner can have these qualities. So your partner will believe a lot in social interactions and all, but they will believe in also helping other people out in society. But they should also, at the same time, maintain their sense of self-confidence. That is very important. And they should also, remember, sometimes their identity is kind of lost in the community. They mingle so well with community and people that sometimes they even forget their own identity, their own ambition. So that shouldn't happen. So the balance is important. Now, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the 7th house, then what will happen? Then there can be the partner, especially if you're a male native, will have lack of self-confidence. It's possible. And in this relationship there'll be lack of attraction, lack of physical attraction in the relationship, and problems, differences of opinion, all that. Now, even ego clash is possible. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth from business, from trading, from the field of law, legal sector, from liaison. You can be a liaison. You can be a middleman in bargains. You can be a counselor. You can do well in the field of law and litigations. You can handle cases and all. You can be an advisor, counselor. You can be a people person. Whenever you're engaged in interacting with people, your business involves that, you'll do well. If your business involves foreign travel, you can do well and you can gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the 8th house. 8th house is, on the one hand, it is good. On the other hand, it is again believed to be a malefic house. Now, good because 8th house is the house of your marital life. 8th house is also the house of your joint resources with partner. 8th house is also the house of, the life with your partner after you enter into a committed relationship or marriage. So 8th house can signify all of that. Now, if Venus's dispositor is well placed in the 8th house, then definitely there can be a wonderful relationship which is based on great sexual connection, sexual compatibility, great intimate life. And besides that, the relationship will be based on serious commitment, trusting each other completely. There'll be complete transparency, deep-rooted, passionate connection, intense, passionate connection with each other, a great emotional connection also with each other. So if Venus's dispositor is well placed in the 8th house, you will get such results. Now, if dispositor is not so well placed in the 8th house, then having problems in bed relations, having problems with each other in maintaining intimate life, being secretive and keeping secrets from each other in the relationship, so that there is, there could be breach of trust. If there is breach of trust, then you could be distanced from each other, and the relationship will undergo lots of challenges, obstacles, problems, ups and downs. It may even end in separation. That's also possible. This is the worst case scenario. It may even end in separation. So all that, again, it will depend on the dignity of the dispositor of Venus, that planet, in what dignity, how it is placed in the 8th house, by which planets it is being aspected, how its dispositor is placed, and so on. So now again, the following qualities will be there in you if you're a female native, and in your partner if you're a male native. And if you have Venus's dispositor in the 8th house, they can be very secretive also. But if it is well placed, they'll be secretive in a good way. Okay, that is their nature, to give you surprises. Okay, now they can also be someone who believes in great intimate connection with you. If it is well placed, they will give a lot of importance to the intimacy that you share, and they will be very, again, 8th house is part of the moksha trine, so they'll be compassionate, forgiving also. They will let go of your follies and shortcomings also, and they will embrace you with love, with deep-rooted connection, because they will believe in forgiving and moving on. So, because this relationship is not just based on great sexual compatibility, but also deep-rooted understanding and a spiritual connection. So they will be very intuitive, creative, and they can have in-depth knowledge of things. They can have healing powers, they can have occult powers, or they could be very sensitive, very intuitive. They can make use of their intuition, their ability to do research and investigation, and may even earn wealth by these means. You can also earn wealth with the help of any of these means. You can earn wealth by dint of your power of intuition or creativity, creative skills, healing practices, spiritual practices, or research investigation in any field, even technology. So any of these fields can enable you to gain wealth. Even investments, you can gain wealth from there. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the 9th house of your horoscope. Now, if dispositor planet is well placed in the 9th house, then definitely 9th house is part of the dharma trine. This relationship will be based on a sense of duty, accountability, faithfulness, loyalty, a sense of commitment, even deep-rooted romantic connection will be there in the relationship. There'll be true love for each other. And after you're into this relationship or marriage, you'll attract good luck or fortune into your life. You'll become fortunate in life because of this relationship. So all these things we can say. And because of your partner's entry into your life, your life will move towards prosperity. There'll be a lot of growth, expansion, and you will attract fortune, good fortune and prosperity into your life because of your partner. All these things. Now you can travel the world with your partner. Whenever you undertake travel with your partner, your relationship can improve. You may attract a partner who belongs to foreign culture, whom you met during the course of your travel to a foreign land. That's also possible. So yeah, both of you would travel together, explore the world together while being committed to each other and romantically inclined to each other. There'll be great romantic connection, great sense of duty. There'll be a lot of optimism, positivity that you bring to each other's lives, wonderful connection. Now if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the 9th house, then whenever you undertake plan some travel after marriage or after you're in a committed relationship, you may encounter obstacles in your foreign travel plans. Whenever you want to undertake travel after marriage, you may encounter obstacles. It's possible. Or your growth and somehow growth in life, expansion of everything, your resources and everything, things can get delayed. You may feel that okay, I have got married to somebody or I'm into a committed relationship, but there's I can't see any prosperity. It's possible. Even you might think so. If Venus's dispositor is not well placed in the 9th house, okay, so then you have to do remedies for the dispositor planet if it is not well placed in the 9th house. Now there could be problems with your partner, lack of commitment. Your way of looking at life and their way of looking at things can be totally different. So clash of worldviews, okay, lack of mutual respect in the relationship, which can then lead to problems in the relationship. Ego clashes can be there in the relationship. Okay. Now the following qualities can be there in you if you're a female native and if you have Venus in the Venus's dispositor in the 9th house, and the following qualities can be there in your partner if you're a male native. They can be very optimistic, very knowledgeable. They can be great knowledge seekers, disciplined, structured in life, goal oriented. They have a vision, they have goals to achieve. Okay, they believe in their knowledge, they believe in their vision, they believe in exploring the world, they're adventurous. They want to explore the world. They're explorative. They're knowledgeable. They can give you good counsel, good suggestions. They can also be people, who actually will bring good luck and fortune into your lives, as I said. So all good qualities will be there. They can be committed to you, dutiful towards you, faithful, all these good qualities. But if Venus's dispositor is not well placed in the 9th house, then there could be a breach of trust, ego clashes, as I mentioned, in the relationship. Now let's move on to before moving on, how will you gain wealth? If you have Venus's dispositor in the 9th house, you can gain wealth from counseling, from being a consultant, from teaching job, okay, any kind of teaching job. You can gain wealth from religious practices, even spiritual practices. You can be into any sort of counseling, any kind of counseling. Even you could be any sort of consultant, healer, even astrologer. You can also be somebody who's in the field of law, You can do well in the field of law. You can have great managerial abilities also. You could be into wealth may come from great managerial abilities. Now, you will gain wealth in life by dint of your knowledge, higher knowledge, by dint of your creativity and power of intuition. Okay? So, all these abilities will enable you to gain wealth in life. And you again also have to be very goal oriented, so then you can gain wealth. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's Dispositor is in the 10th house of your horoscope. Now if the Dispositor planet is well placed in the 10th house, then definitely this relationship will be based on serious commitment and mutual responsibility, and fair treatment and honest fair treatment, treating each other fairly, justly in the relationship. Okay? So, relationship will be based on, treating each other fairly and doing justice to each other in the relationship. If the Dispositor planet will be well placed in the 10th house. A relationship which is based on serious commitment, efforts, not giving up on each other, having patience, sticking to each other no matter what, and having patience with each other, setting long-term goals in the relationship, and being committed to each other while being responsible, as I mentioned. But if Venus's Dispositor is not well placed in the 10th house, then lack of commitment in the relationship, having no proper sense of responsibility towards each other, and so getting distance from each other. If you are a female native, then you can be controlling in the relationship if Venus's Dispositor is not well placed in the 10th house. And if you're a male native, your partner can be very controlling, dominating. They will want things according to their own wishes. They will, always try to dominate you. There'll be injustice done to you in the relationship, and that is why you may get distanced from your partner. That is also possible. Now, if Venus's Dispositor is well placed in the 10th house, you may also attract somebody into your life who is connected to your work, or who will help you with your work in some way or the other, who's going to assist you with your work in some way or the other. It's possible. So if they're connected to your work life, or if they're connected to your profession, it's a good thing. It's a positive thing for the relationship, a green flag. Now the following qualities can be there in you if you're a female native, and in your partner if you're a male native, if you have Dispositor of Venus in the 10th house. Okay, they can be hardworking. They can be goal-oriented, practical, grounded, methodical, structured, detail-oriented towards their work, and they'll be believe in their own efforts. They'll believe in working hard and accumulating resources and wealth in life. They can be materialistic, and they will also be people who have great planning skills, managerial skills. It's possible. They're blessed with power of intuition and analytical power, both. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth by dint of your hard work. Your profession can enable you to gain wealth from your work, whatever be your work. You may gain wealth through your association with big organizations or corporate organizations. You can be into managerial positions, administrative positions. So you can gain wealth from even technology, any field of work, by dint of your analytical skills, by dint of your intuition, by dint of your hard work. You'll be able to gain wealth in life. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's Dispositor is in the 11th house of your horoscope. 11th house. Now if the Dispositor planet is well placed in the 11th house, then definitely after entering into this relationship with your partner, you can become very prosperous in life. You will gain in life a lot. You'll be able to gain maybe new friends, You can gain anything. You can gain wealth in life, social status, anything you may gain because of this relationship. It's possible. Because the dispositor of Venus is in the house of gains, 11th house. So you will really be a gainer if you enter into a relationship, if the dispositor is well placed. Okay, your partner may belong to your social circle, or even maybe you met them on social media. That's also possible. Now, in this relationship is based on lots of desires, unfulfilled desires, wishes and expectations also from each other, because 11th house is part of the Kama trine, the trine of desires. So you have a lot of desires pertaining to your relationship. You want to travel the world with your partner. You want to create, physical compatibility also with your partner. You want to be great friends with your partner. You want your partner to help you always whenever you need them. And you want this relationship to be based on friendship, mutual cooperation. It's like that. So you want to be partners in everything. Okay, so yeah, I mean, you also would maybe attract somebody into your life who is unusual, who is extraordinary, who's unconventional in their approach to things, who could be a foreigner, who could belong to foreign culture, or who could be very unconventional in looking unconventional in their way of looking at life. Okay, someone who's not so traditional, someone who believes in only making use of their own logical reasoning abilities. They are people who have intellectual capabilities. They believe only in their own observation power, in their logical reasoning abilities. That's it. Okay, so healthy discussions, intellectual discussions with the partner, shared interests, hobbies, all these things can improve the relationship, traveling together and so on. Now, if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the relationship, then there could be communication gap in the relationship, or you could have a very cerebral approach to things, very cerebral. You would believe only in, like, the relationship would bring two people together, but they would believe in just give and take. They would believe, a very cerebral approach to things, intellectual approach to things, where there is lack of emotions. That is also possible if Venus's dispositor is not so well placed in the 11th house. So yeah, now both of you, if after you enter into this relationship, if you are engaged in social service, if you're connected with social welfare organizations, and if you do charity, that will improve your relationship. That is, if you are helping those people, the weaker sections of society, in some way or the other, if you're connected with NGOs and all, so that will improve your relationship also overall. Now, the following qualities can be there in you if you're a female native and you have this placement, or in your partner if you're a male native. If you have Venus's dispositor in the 11th house, your partner can be a person who is very unconventional, somebody who is a very, who is an intellectual, who believes in their own logical reasoning power, who can do well in any field of research, investigation and technology. They're very intelligent. Aquarius is in the 11th house naturally, and Aquarius is an air sign, the sign of intelligence. They can have great ideas, innovative ideas also. Now, how can you gain wealth? You can gain wealth by dint of your research abilities. Any field of research investigation can enable you to gain wealth. You can gain wealth from technology, from healing practices, occult practices, and so on. Any field of research investigation for that matter. Now let's move on to what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in the 12th house of your horoscope. 12th house, it's originally the house of Pisces. It's a dual energy. You may feel that this relationship has a certain duality. At times you connect very well with each other, at times you feel distance from each other. Or your partner, if you're a male native, your partner may have a certain duality in their character. If you're a female native, you yourself can have a dual nature. Now, your relationship will work if your partner belongs to some foreign culture or different geographical region. Then this relationship will work. This relationship, 12th house, is part of the moksha trine. It should be based on compassion, kindness, forgiveness. Then this relationship will last. This relationship, will last if you're ready to forgive each other no matter what. But there should be, complete transparency, and there should be mutual trust. Trust is very important. If the Venus's dispositor is not well placed in the 12th house, there can be trust issues in the relationship, which can distance both of you. And both of you may even lead towards, may move towards separation. That's also possible. If there is lack of trust in the relationship. Okay? So if Venus's dispositor is not well placed, then these things can happen in the relationship. Otherwise, if it is well placed, it will be based on compassion, forgiveness, and intuitive understanding, and it will be a deep-rooted spiritual connection. Even it is a relationship which can, because after all, Venus exalts in 12th house naturally also. So there should be great physical attraction also. You should also have great sex life that will improve your relationship if you have, Venus's dispositor in the 12th house. Otherwise, you can get distance from each other. That's possible. So yes, great physical connection, as well as over time you can develop great spiritual connection with each other. So all that. Now your partner. Now if you're a female native, you can have these qualities. If you're a male native, your partner can have these qualities. Your partner can be intuitive, creative. They can be into any kind of research, investigation. They can also be very knowledgeable. All these qualities your partner can have. Okay? They can have any sort of skills, creative skills. They'll be intuitive people, very intuitive also. So all these things, your partner will have these qualities. They can also have great compassion for others. Now, what you can say about how you can gain wealth. You can also gain wealth from by dint of the use of intuition. So you could be into occult practices, spiritual practices, yoga, meditation. You can gain wealth from being a psychologist. You could be into independent counseling. You could be into investments, language, coding, technology, research, investigation. So any of these fields, investments as I mentioned. So any of these fields can enable you to gain wealth in life. So friends, that was my take on what will happen when Venus's dispositor is in all the 12 houses. And I forgot to mention, if Venus's dispositor is in the 12th house, then you may also attract a partner who belongs to foreign culture. That's possible. Partner who's from a different geographical region. That's also possible. Okay? Or after marriage, or after you're in a committed relationship, if you settle down in a foreign land, that'll be good for your relationship. So that was my take on Venus's dispositor in all 12 houses of your horoscope. And before I wind up, friends, remember that you should always be charitable to the poor, the weak. Donate vegetarian food to people in old age homes and orphanages, and try to be a vegetarian. Be kind to all animals, birds, creatures. See you next time. Thank you, friends.